Welcome to our second counseling session. Just to recap our first session, we went over tough events that we go through and events that have led us to deal with anxiety, depression, stress. Lupe here shared the loss of a loved one and how difficult that journey has been. In addition, Lucy has been going through a tough time with the recent diagnosis of her mother. I just want to share this generally. Many of us struggle with anxiety and wellness, not because we are deficient in some way, but because we experience adversity when growing up, such as loss of a loved one, stress, and because the system of beliefs and coping styles we learn are unhealthy components, which are reasons why our behavior is that way. And we basically need to replace our unhealthy behaviors and coping styles to healthy ones. So within our first session, we did share our stories and we made a specific goal and how we were going to do things differently, what worked, what didn't work. So if you guys can kind of just go answer my question and let me know a little bit about how your first week and now week is going.
Okay, so after receiving the news, it was extremely hard on us. However, after finding out that it was stage 1, I felt a little bit more relieved. And I definitely started changing. I started picking up different habits, as in, I started working out a lot more. And I've been eating healthier, and so has my mom, and I feel like that has helped the both of us because we're spending time together, and I'm kind of like her support
system. So you've been really supportive, like morally, and just being there with her while going through this journey. So that's definitely that's something that's gonna make you yourself feel good and your mother. And I'm really glad your mom is in a stage where it's definitely curable. So thank you so much for sharing the bond that you and your mother have at the moment.
Yes.
Thank you. Lupe, how are things going for you?
I've just been trying to stay busy, which I feel like that helps me out a lot, trying to forget the trauma that I had when my dad passed. I also try to visit him as well, which that does make me feel better. I also try to go through all his pictures and all through I try to go through all of our memories. And then I also wrote him a letter, just basically telling him everything or what I would have said to him if I was there when he passed, so that I do feel a lot better.
Thank you for sharing that. I know grief is, a roller coaster of emotions, so I'm glad you're working on something that's making yourself feel better, and it's building a better connection of your father's passing. So I really appreciate you sharing that. So thank you so much. I definitely, do you guys think there was a setback, as in like you kind of went back to day 1 and it's been hard? Do you feel like there's times where you feel that way? As in, like, okay, you shared to me that right now things are going well, but do you sometimes feel like, oh man, I'm back to feeling anxiety and back to feeling depression, like your kind of fears overwhelm you? Is that something you go through?
Yeah, sometimes, especially like when I'm alone. I start overthinking and I start having like negative thoughts. So when I do, when that does happen, I try to, like Lupe says, stay busy and definitely spending time with her and just hanging out, and kind of helps me.
Okay. So the good thing is that you're realizing that your fears are irrational as well. It's just kind of more like you're afraid of losing your mother due to her diagnosis. So I really like how you catch that on. You just kind of don't let it keep happening. With anxiety, sometimes it's so tricky because our fears or things like that overwhelm us. We start overthinking, and that kind of leads us to feel depression. And I really like the fact that you're catching on and just like, nope, not happening, not today. And you distract yourself, you keep yourself busy and productive. So I really do like that strategy. Lupe, do you feel like there's any setbacks, anything that kind of just puts you as in day one, like you're struggling and
Well,
do you feel like you're making your father proud, or do you sometimes feel like I'm not making him proud, or what should I do differently? So, or any anxiety or just kind of setbacks. I kind of want to learn that.
I'll have to agree is when I'm alone
Mm-hmm.
and when I'm by myself that I start thinking of everything. But I do try, which is the reason why I try to stay busy, and I do try to make him proud in any way I can, to forget about, just in a way to make me feel better, knowing that I'm making him proud by,
Doing what you love,
right,
and working hard. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really do appreciate that, and I really like how you guys are using different strategies and being open to using different options as well. You guys are not kind of going back to the routine. For our next session, if we can work on specific goals, just try to do things that keep us busy, make us feel better, so we can slowly go through a journey like this, a journey of grief and loss, and a journey of going through a tough situation when there's a very severe illness involved. So we can work on that, and then by next week we will touch bases and kind of go from there. But thank you, ladies. You guys have a great night.
Good night.